I've never done this with someone else. It's quite sensual, really. Don't you think? That's pretty much as fun as it gets. Throw it in again. I'm Jonelle Awomoyi and I'm in Lee Valley in Hackney, London, speaking to Aisha Mirza, who'll be sharing their guide to unconventional creative living. Aisha is a writer, artist, musician, community organizer and photographer, and today we're going to be taking photos together.
Hello!
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Hey Gigi. Oh, so cute.
10 years ago, I was living in a massive house share in
How
Shadwell.
many people?
It was like 11 to 14, depending on like whose
goodness.
boyfriends were living with us. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? But anyway, I ended up on a boat, and it was right here, a very small
Right.
boat, not the boat that you see today. A tiny little, it's called a yogurt pot, colloquially, on the river because it was a little plastic boat. Then I moved to New York for 5 years.
Oh, fun.
Another insane shared living situation. The walls between the bedrooms didn't go all the way up to the top.
Okay,
So there was like a little gap, like an office.
Right.
Sometimes you're just 24 in like a country you've never been in, and you're like,
love
woo!
that.
Freedom is really important to me. I think it always has been. As a child, as an adult, as an artist, as a person. Living off grid, for me, made a lot of sense. Using the sun for electricity, going to get water, and then using that water sparingly. It's a really different way to interact with life. It's not for everybody. There are a lot of people who will come over and be like, this is really cute, and now I like have to go home and use a toilet that flushes, you know? Like, it really depends on, I guess, your own life and what you're willing to sacrifice or be creative about.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I definitely see it as a way out of a certain type of like capitalist conundrum that we are all finding ourselves quite deeply in. To be able to make choices about my life that aren't like solely how am I going to make rent is hugely freeing for me.
Have you always been a multi-disciplinary artist?
I do a lot of different things. I've had to accept that that's kind of like how I am in the world and what makes sense for me, and also how I enjoy myself. To some people, I'm a writer. I've written a few pieces that have been like really widely read, and I'm also a musician. I've been in a lot of bands. I'm a DJ and do that a lot in different spaces all over the world. And I'm also like a full-time community organizer and activist. I started an organization called Misery, which is a mental health collective for queer and trans people of color specifically. So the work that I do is just a big sort of mishmash of all those things.
And a photographer?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm definitely a photographer because I have a show coming up that's photography based. In the lead up to us filming this, I've been reflecting a little bit like what is useful to know or to think about embarking on a creative career, and it's really, really hard. Things are so different generation to generation. Like I don't really know like what advice to give someone who's starting out now. Apart from that, I do think that as younger people, as like spirits in the world before we're like corrupted by ego and capitalism, we kind of know what we want in a way. Like some of us, you can like feel into that, and that can feel like a really dangerous path to choose for like a lot of reasons, especially if you are trying to succeed at capitalism. But I think there is something in there that if you trust it, will save you.
What does success look like?
Let's talk about success. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to have a feel for what success can mean to you as an individual outside of like what the institution thinks is successful, what Instagram metrics think are successful, what your mother thinks is successful. Like, especially if you're going to put yourself in the position of like creating and sharing with the world, it's so like horribly, painfully vulnerable. A lot of us love positive reinforcement and love to be seen and acknowledged and celebrated, as we should. But if 100% of our like wellness and idea of what we're trying to achieve is based on receiving that, it's going to be a really painful life. Like you have to know for yourself like what you'd be happy with. Like,
Right.
What will I be okay like curling up alone at night, knowing that I've put out into the world?
when it comes to photography, did you always like use cameras?
I did a night class in film photography when I was like 15. I love the texture, I love the grain, I love the slight teasing aspect of like, is this roll gonna come out at all, like as anything? Because I've definitely had some rolls that just completely don't, and that's devastating, takes weeks to recover. The way that film photography forces you to like delay gratification, kind of always have something to look forward to. If you've got a roll of film waiting to be developed, there's like a reason to live, you know? It forces you to slow down and be super intentional, be really present. It's really been a mental health practice more than anything, but now I'm like, damn, I've got 1,000 photos.
How do you do with like perfectionism?
Yeah, I'm not a perfectionist.
You're
It's
not?
really great. I actually have the opposite, whatever the opposite of perfectionism is, where it's like you do something for 3 minutes and then you're like, who can I show it to? If you love film, it is hard to do a bad photo in a way. You're just like, love it, texture. Just say texture. No matter what it comes out, just be like, wow, texture.